Good evening, everyone, and welcome to today's live session for the subject Urban Governance and Development Management. We are here today so that we can have a live problem solving session, and I can guide you and help you through the problems that you might be assigned as a part of your assignments, or that might come up in your exams later. So I'm here to help you with the problem solving session. If you have any problems, you can ask me. But what we generally follow every run of this course is that we take the problems from the previous weeks or from the previous runs of this course. So as you might know that this course is run every year, so we take questions from the previous runs of this course and we solve them here so that you can get an idea of how to solve and how to go about finding the answers or solutions of the questions that are assigned to you, or of the questions that you might have during your uh, examinations and such. So I welcome you all first of all to this session and to this new course. I am seeing a lot of people. I am seeing Anita, Pragati, Prajwala, Sneha. I'm seeing Smita and Vijaya. Welcome all to today's session.
Hello. Hi.
Hello, very nice for you to be here. I think we'll wait a little more time because only these many people have joined. So I think let's wait till 6:05 and see if others join as well, and then we'll start the session. If you have any doubts till then, you can just jot them down or wait till we start and then. So I hope all of you are having a good session so far. Anyone experiencing any problems particularly with the session so far, or even if you're having a good experience, you can share. Any one of you can just unmute yourself and can I quickly know that how many of you are currently enrolled in some academic program? So either you are in college, you're doing your bachelor's or master's, or you're doing the PhD. Are there students enrolled right now in some academic program? You can just raise your hand and I can see.
Yeah. Hi. I'm Anita. So I'm actually
Hello.
a professional practice, and right
Okay.
now I'm enrolled for a PhD at NIT Calicut. Yeah.
Oh, it's very nice to meet you.
Yeah. Nice to
Uh,
meet you too. I think we've just had 2 sessions of classes. So it's been pretty informative, but I guess we'll just take it as it comes. This being the first contact class, so if there's anything, we'll get back. Thank you.
It's very nice to hear from you. I see two people who've raised their hand. I guess you both are enrolled in some academic program. Uh, I just want to preface this session saying that I don't know if you know this, but NPTEL courses are open online courses or mass open online courses, as you might know. So people from very varied and different backgrounds actually take these courses. So how we'll approach this is that we'll go into the very basics, very nitty gritties, as you might have seen so far that the course is also designed in a way so that it can cater to a large and varied audience. So if you, it happens sometimes. I have received that feedback earlier that sometimes people feel that I'm going into too much basics or too much details. Just bear with us because there might be a few students who are having issues with understanding the basics also. So I understand if some people might have taken this course or a similar course in their bachelor's. They might feel that I'm going into too much detail or so much detail is not needed. But please understand that that much detail is not needed for you. But there are other people who might have a problem with that. So it is good for them to have as a resource to refer back to if they want to refer to it. So I hope that is okay with you all. I'll also like to mention
Sure.
that all of our sessions, these are recorded, and a link to these recordings will be shared with you. So all of these videos, after the session is over, the videos are uploaded to a YouTube channel, and the link of the particular video will be shared with you. You might already have gotten uh, an Excel sheet which might contain a shared folder and a place where the links will be uploaded every week. So every week after the session is concluded, the link for the YouTube video with that week session will be uploaded there. So people who want to access the sessions later, who want to look back upon it, or who might miss the session that week, it is very convenient for you. You can go there and you can check out the session later as well. So I hope that is clear. I hope everyone can access the folder. If you can't, I can quickly show you how to access it. Is anyone having difficulty accessing that folder or someone who has not found it yet? Just let me know.
Ma'am, may I know which folder are you talking about?
Okay, I'll just show you very quickly.
Hello?
Yes, I hope you can hear me. It's Dhirav, I think.
Hello, am I audible?
Hello, Dhirav. Yes, Dhirav, I heard you. Dhirav, can you hear me? Okay, so I'll quickly show you how you can access the folder. This is good thing which Dhirav has done. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can even type your message in the chat box which is there. So if you are not able to present your audio or you have some issue with your microphone, that is very well. You can just type your message in the chat box and I'll get to your message. So I'll quickly show you how to access the folder or the shared folder which I'm talking about. So this is your Swayam portal or your login where you log in. So if this is the course which we are doing, Urban Governance and Development Management, you just go to the course here and in every week, if I hope everyone can see, this is the week 1. So in every week, I think there is a folder which is shared. at the end of this, or I don't know where. Mm, maybe here. Okay. Okay, I think it is not shared so far. So it is not here in the portal, but it is shared in the portal as well. I think it is not shared so far. Let me check once. Okay, so this is the announcements page. I think here you will find the link to that folder, or to, like, you found the link to the doubt clearing session here. Similarly, you will find a link for the shared folder as well. I hope on this page itself. So right now it is not shared, but you'll find the link to the folder in some time. So from there you can see. Till then I can quickly show you. This is the folder, or this is the sheet which I'm talking about. So this sheet will be shared with you shortly. So here you'll have the link for the YouTube video. This is the link for the folder which I'm sharing with you all. So here I'll upload all of the presentations which I show you, and all of the additional material that you might need to solve your assignments, or as an extra referral material or anything like that. Okay, so this is the Google Sheet which will be shared with you. I hope this is clear. Okay. How many people have joined today?
Yeah.
So 11 people have joined so far. So I'll quickly enter that here. So meeting attendance for today is 11. 11 people have joined so far. Uh, Now I think we can get to the problem solving. So today is the week
Ma'am, am I
one.
audible?
Yes. Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt, ma'am, but I have also done previously NPTEL courses, 4 to 5 courses of NPTEL, and in majority of the courses, whatever we are solving in the assignments and whatever the questions that come in exam are majoritively different than what we have solved in the assignments. So in this NPTEL course, will it also be the same, or what we are solving in assignments that only will be that only similar type of questions will come in exam?
So I don't really know how the paper will be set. That will be informed to you a little time before your exam. There sometimes there are both multiple choice questions and long answer questions. So in the assignments, mostly for this subject, you have multiple choice questions only. But
Hmm.
one thing which I can definitely tell you, that in the exam it won't only be multiple choice questions. You will have some long answer questions as well. However, be assured that the questions that will be asked in the exam, it won't be like a way different from what is being taught in the classes, like in the lectures, or
Okay.
very different from what you're solving here. It may be different. The question answers typology may be different. It may be long answer questions. What you're solving here might be MCQ. What you get there may be multiple correct, or maybe match the following, or different kinds of questions can be there. But it won't be very different from the material that you get here in the lectures, or the supplemental material that is supplied to you, or from how the questions are solved in the problem solving sessions.
Got it, ma'am. But the like non-multiple theta questions that will be appearing in the exams, would you give us some examples for the same as well in these sessions?
So I don't have those questions with me right now, as I
Okay.
mentioned earlier that according to the system that we employ here, we solve the questions which were assigned in the previous runs of this course. So in the previous year,
Okay.
when this course was run, there must be some assignment which was assigned to the previous run students. So we take those
Hmm.
questions and we solve those questions here.
Got it.
So if you have
Okay.
other questions about the subject matter or about anything else, that we can discuss here. But going just by the questions, we solve the questions which were assigned in the previous one. If you
So
want
it's
me
it's only
to
the
give you
assignment questions. Sorry.
if you want me to provide you the long answer type questions or different types of questions which might be there in the examination, I can
Yeah.
talk to the course instructor and I can ask them that you've asked that you want long answer type questions also in your assignments, and then those questions can be assigned to you. One thing, Dhirav, I think one thing you can do, I
Hmm.
think you know about uh, the portal which is there where you can ask questions directly to the course instructor.
I
The forum is
actually
there.
have
hmm I just
I actually have
showed
no
you
idea
also.
about it.
Okay, I'll quickly show you.
Oh, okay, ma'am. I actually joined a little late, so I
No,
don't
no,
know.
that's fine. I'll quickly show you. Here you can see there is this tab, ask a question. You can go to
Okay.
this question. This will take you to the forum where you can ask a question. You can see there are messages from other students who have asked questions about uh, different
Got it, ma'am.
subjects or different things, even referring to the video which is uploaded as your lectures and things. So here you can directly ask the course instructor. So I think that will be better if you can directly ask the course instructor that you would like uh, questions more similar to what would be asked in the exams, or you would like
Hmm.
long answer questions or something like that. I think they'll get back to you.
Okay, ma'am. And ma'am, you will be solving in the sessions all the previous year's assignments questions, right?
Yes.
Okay, ma'am. So
So
in that also
what
there are only multiple
basic
choice question.
Yes. So the basic
Got it, ma'am.
intent of this session, what I want to convey to you, is that we want to show you how you approach the questions which are assigned to you or which might come later. So how you approach the questions, which material you look up to solve it, and how to go about solving the questions, how to avoid mistakes, what to look at, what to not look at, and will provide you extra reference material also, because as you might know, the lectures are only 30 minutes, so there is only so much material which the instructor can get to while teaching you the course. So this is sort of an extended version of both the problem solving and other reference material which we can provide you. So I hope the intent of the course is clear. So how we'll go about it is that I'll pick up questions one by one from the previous sessions and I'll go about solving them during the solution of the problem. If you have any doubt, you can ask questions, or we'll just solve the questions one by one, and at the end even you can ask doubts about any of the questions which you saw uh, during the during the presentation, and then I can get to your question. Whatever doubts you have, I can hear your doubts. So I think we'll start today's session then. So first of all, because this is the first session, so I'd like to preface the course objectives for this course. So the course is called Urban Governance and Development Management, as you might well know. So the course has two broad objectives. First objectives is to equip the learner with working and equip the working and future city managers. So either currently working as we saw right now, one of the learners is a current professional, or future city professionals or future city managers. So you might be a student right now who might want to go into this field later. So both current and future city managers, we want to provide them both with a comprehensive knowledge of urban governance. And the second objective is to develop skills required for management for urban development at both the organizational level and the personal level. So, organizational level, you will get to know more about how urban local bodies and different urban organizations, different governance organizations in India and Indian city, how they function, what are their roles, how they are managed, how they play a part in cities development, things like that. And on the personal level, you will learn about how a city manager can contribute to the management and urban development of a city. So these are the two broad core subjects. This is the course structure. This also you might know that the course is divided into three major modules. First is urban governance, in which you learn the basic concepts and legal provisions. You learn about people, land, and environment related to urban development, how they are associated to urban development, how they are managed. Then you learn a little bit about organization development, and then how to manage change. So change can refer to a lot of things: change in the urban environment, urbanization, uh, and several other things. Course module 2 is development management, in which you'll learn about urban and metropolitan planning, how it is managed. Then a little bit about municipal finance and accounts, how are those managed. Then a little bit about urban housing and disaster management. Then the challenging urban issues, how to deal with and manage different issues that arise in urban areas or urban systems. Then about centrally sponsored schemes. So as you might well know that there are different centrally sponsored schemes and even state sponsored schemes. So in this one we'll learn specifically about centrally sponsored schemes, how they affect governance and management at a city level, and how they can be used to further cities development. Then at last, in this module, you'll learn a little bit about project planning and execution, which is a crucial part of development. And the last module is about self-development, which is on the personal level. So it will teach you more about the role of city managers, how they play a leadership role in city management, and a little bit about self-development. So I hope this is clear. So this week we are discussing only week one's lecture. So the problem also which you get assigned every week, the assignment, it is based upon the week's course itself. So similarly, we'll go about solving the problems or about this problem solving session as well. We'll take the problems which were covered in this week, or based on the topics which were covered in this week, and we'll solve those problems. However, feel free from the next session onwards that if you want to discuss the problems from the previous week as well, that are also welcome. So we won't discuss problems uh, from the weeks further ahead. Let's not do that because that might not be helpful to the audience who are not caught up to that level yet. But whatever we have covered till that week, we'll discuss all of those problems. So, week 1, we'll discuss week 1's problems. Week 2, we can discuss week 1 and as well as the earlier week's problems. So, I hope this makes sense. So week one's lecture. So week one, you have covered 5 lectures. So one is on introduction to urbanization, which introduces to you the process of urbanization, different terms related to urbanization and urban development, how cities are classified, how urban areas are classified into different categories, and all of those things. Then a little bit about urban governance. So it is just an introductory lecture, introduction to urban. Next, you'll learn about the constitutional provisions for the urban local governance. So you'll learn a lot about the Constitutional Amendment Act, what provisions are there in the constitution for urban local governance, how the act changed these provisions after its introduction, and how now after introduction of this act urban local governance is managed in India. After that we would have a lecture on legislative provisions. So legislation means all the provisions related construction and formulation of laws uh, related to urban planning. So you have learned a little bit about that in this lecture, and at last organizational interfaces, how different organizations interact with each other, how different levels of the organizations interact with each other, how they are connected and such things. So this is what it has been covered in this week so far. So let's start with the first question. So in the previous week, there were 8 questions which were assigned, as I think is the same for this week as well. You have been assigned 8 questions. So these are the questions from previous week. So one thing which we observed in this particular course, that many of the questions which were assigned in the previous week are very similar or sometimes the same as the ones which are assigned in this week. So I have decided my method to tackling these questions is that I'll tell you the approach of how you can solve these questions, what material to refer to, and all those things. But I won't tell you the answers. This is very crucial because I don't want to tell the answers to the questions which are assigned to you right now, because you very well may know that you are graded based on the solutions of those assignments. So I really do not want to tell you the answers of the currently assigned questions. So in order to do that, the best policy I think we can employ here is that I'll tell you the approach, I'll tell you the background material, I'll tell you how to approach and solve the questions, but I won't tell you the answer to any of the questions. And trust me, the way I tell you how to solve all the questions, you'll be able to identify or get to the answers in the end of the solution of the question. So uh, I hope this will help. Still, if you are having any difficulties in deciphering the answer, you can raise your doubt and I can get to. Okay, so first question for today's session is, in India, urban areas with a population 10 lakh or more are known as cities. Is this a true or false statement? So this is the question. So you might have seen this table in your lecture. So this tells you if uh, the different classes of cities and towns, or the number of cities or the number of towns according to the population criteria. So you can see here, if the population is more than 5,000, so it is a class 6 city or sometimes town. If population is between 5,000 to 10,000, it is a class 5 city. Similarly, 10,000 to 20,000, it's a class 4 city. 20,000 to 50,000 population, it's a class 3 city. Or 50,000 to 100,000 or 1 lakh, it is class 2. 1 lakh to 10 lakh cities are known as million plus cities. So MN plus, this refers to million plus. So it is known as either as class 1 city or million plus cities. In India, we have more than 7,400 uh, cities or towns based on this population criteria, or you can just refer all to urban units for lack of a better term. 1 lakh to 10 lakh, we start referring them uh, the urban units as cities, so million plus cities. So more than 10 lakh, we refer to them as metro cities. And more than 1 crore of population are referred to as mega cities. So I hope this makes it clear. which population category we are talking about. We are talking about population which is more than 10 lakh. So will it be called a city or won't it be? I think it is very clear, and it should be very clear to you what the answer of this question is. So it is a true or false question. You have to select one of the two, is either it is a true or a false. So I think it is very clear if the statement is true or false. Okay. Moving on to the next question. So next question is that according to Census of India 2011, so the 2011 census, the number of statutory towns in India is what? So the first problem which you encounter here is to understand what statutory towns are. So statutory towns are the towns which are declared as towns according to some statute. So what a statute is? So a statute is an act of a legislature that declares, prescribes or commands something as a specific law which is expressed in writing. So as you know that urbanization is not a stationary process, it's a dynamic process. So areas develop and grow over time, and some of the area which might be rural today, it might grow and develop over time. The population density, the people living in that area might, the people, the economic activity in the area might change over time, and the area can from rural area transform into an urban area. So the process of urbanization is dynamic in nature. So uh, uh, any area, it can over a period of time develop to become a urban unit instead of a rural unit. And uh, we have criteria to identify when that area has become, when an area has is a rural area or has become an urban area. So this criteria is given to us by Census of India, and here is the criteria which defines when an area is a rural area and when it becomes an urban area. So all the places which satisfy these three criteria are called urban areas or urban units according to the Census of India. So the first criteria is that it should have a minimum population of 5,000. So that unit, it should have a minimum population of 5,000. 5,000 and plus, it will be eligible to qualify to be called an urban area. Below 5,000, the area cannot be called an urban area. It will still be a rural area. Then the second criteria, what it should qualify, is that a minimum 75% of the male working population in that area should be engaged in non-agricultural pursuits. So this refers to not only agriculture but agriculture and allied activities. So agriculture, forestry, or uh, animal husbandry, any maybe fisheries, pisciculture, silviculture, so many things. So agricultural and allied activities are considered here as agricultural pursuits. But what this says is that the 5,000 population, minimum 75% of that 5,000 or more, whatever the population is, minimum 75% of that population should be engaged in non-agricultural pursuits. So they should be engaged in economic activity which is either related to the secondary or the tertiary sector. So second, primary sector, we know it is the agriculture and allied activities. Secondary sector is the manufacturing sector. So different types of industries come into that, different type of manufacturing industries. And the tertiary sector is the service sector. So service sector, it can be tourism industry, tourism, and many of the activities related to tourism come under service sector. Then right now know about IT services. So IT comes under service sector. Hotel services, retail services also come under service sector. So those things come under the service sector. So either service sector or the manufacturing sector. So at least 75% of the male working, again male, it's not male or female, but the 75% of the male population which is residing in that area, it should be engaged in non-agricultural pursuits. And the third criteria which should be satisfied is that the density of that area, the population density of the area uh, should be a minimum of 400 persons per square kilometer. So you get a criteria about the minimum population, then economic activity, and then the population density in the area. So you get three criteria for based on that, based on which we decide if an area in India either it is rural or urban area. So that is how the Census of India decides if a unit, city, town, village, anything, if it's urban or rural. So that is how census towns are defined in India. However, a town which satisfy all this criteria still is not a statutory town. So for the urban unit, even though it is urban, for it to be called a statutory town, the unit has the unit needs to be declared through some act of legislature that it is a town. So as you know that in India the local governance body for villages or towns and cities are very different. So after the statute is declared, the urban governance body for that area or for that city is established. There is a mayor, there is a urban local body, there are municipal elections which are very varied from the gram panchayat elections. So even though an area might have become a census town, until it is declared by a statute that it is a city or it is a town or it is an urban area, it still remains only a census town. So a statutory town is a town or are all the places which have a municipality or a corporation or a cantonment board, or they have a notified town area committee. So after you are declared a town or city by a statute, you have a municipality or municipal corporation, or you have a cantonment board, or you have a notified town area committee. uh, this committee or this urban local body is in charge of carrying all the local governance functions in that particular urban. So these are the two different uh, types or different classification of towns or urban units in India. One which is census towns, which are declared towns based on the different population economic activity criteria, and the ones which are declared as towns or cities or urban units based on a statute. So I hope this is clear. Uh, uh, what the question is asking, that according to Census of India, uh, what is the number of statutory towns? So I think this you can the exact number you can go ahead and find either from the lecture notes or uh, uh, from the Census of India website, which I'll show you in another question how to go about finding data from the Census of India. That also I'll show you. But I hope it is clear to you what census towns are and what statutory towns are. Moving on to the third question. So the third question is, identify the incorrect statement about the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of India, and then you are given four statements. So be very careful while answering this question. Read the question carefully if it is asking to identify the correct statement or the incorrect statement. Many a times learners make mistakes in reading the question properly. So I am just giving you a heads up that while solving this question, pay very uh, take careful attention to how the question is phrased, if it's incorrect or correct. So here in this question, they are asking about which of the statements is incorrect. So there are four statements. First is that the urban local bodies are constituted for 5 years. The second statement is that 50% of the reservations in the urban local body is for women. The third statement is that urban local bodies have been given the power to legislate and implement schemes for economic development and social justice. So this is a question about the legislative power which the urban local body has, and similarly the last statement is also about the legislature. It says the legislature of a state can assign specific taxes, duty, tolls, etc. for the functioning of urban local bodies. So these are the four statements. So uh, first thing here to pay attention to is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So this act is a landmark constitutional amendment act which gave a statute formation and representation to the urban local governance or to the urban local body. So before this act came, all of the functioning or all of the matters of even the cities or smaller areas were largely dealt by the center and state governments. Uh, there were particularly no local bodies like the panchayats and municipalities and municipal corporations which we have right now. So before this act came, there were some uh, bodies, some municipal corporations for very large cities in India like Mumbai, then Bombay, then Calcutta had municipal corporations then, and then there were also improvement trusts at that time. So improvement trusts usually function similarly like an urban local body because it took care of urban development and for economic development or social justice in the particular area. So after the need was felt that even at a local scale there is a requirement for a urban local governance body. So after that, a new provision in our constitution was made, and it was made by amending our constitution. So that is why this act came to be known as the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, and it was introduced in 1992. So this act provided basic functions to the ULBs. So it gave them power to carry out basic functions at the urban local level, and it also gave them power for decision making and planning framework for urban local bodies. So there are two things which you can look to. Obviously, you can look to the lectures or the course material which you are provided. But apart from that, I have shared with you two links. So this PPT which I am showing you, this will be shared with you after the end of this session. As I showed you in the shared folder, it will be shared with you. You can access this PPT and you can even access the links which I have provided. So you can see here, I have provided a link to the shared folder here as well, which you can see. So you can find this document in the shared folder as well. However, if sometimes later, if you want to find out, I want to show you how you can go about finding the documents of different acts and different legislations in India. So this is one link which if you click to, you click and go through the link. So this is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, and this is the document of that legislature. You have to pay very careful attention to the source from where you get this document. Here, I hope you can see that I have gotten this document from the website of Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, MOHUA, if you know. So I have gotten it from government website. So this document has credibility and you can refer to this document. So I have shared the same link with you So you can go to that link, access these documents, or even later on, if you want to find some sort of legislature or some document, some legislative document, you can Google the name of the document and then try to find the credible website. So be it website of uh, urban local body, or like a ministry website like Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs or something similar, and make sure that the source is credible, and then you can refer to that document. So this is one document which I have shared with you, which is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. So now going back, we have four different statements related to the urban local body. One is that it is constituted for 5 years. Second is about the reservation for women, and the last two are about the legislature of the legislature, that is legislative powers of the urban local bodies. So now let's come to this document. Or another thing which you can do is you can go to the shared folder. There I have marked as well what we are looking. So I'll just click through and see this is the shared folder. Here, this is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act document which I have shared with you in a PDF format. So if you just open this document, I have marked what we are looking for. If you are doing it on your own, you can just go through the document carefully. You can see the subheadings, or you can just go through the documents and see which headings or which statements are talking about what, and then read further to see what you are looking for. So the first thing which we are looking for is the term of term or duration of the municipality. So that you can see it is here. I hope this is visible to you. So I have even marked it for your convenience. If you have any difficulty finding it, so you can just go to the document which is shared in the folder, and you can check it for your reference. So here we can see the statement about the duration for municipality. So the municipality has a fixed term of 5 years from the date of the appointment for its first meeting. You can see here that the term is a 5-year term. Coming back here, so this statement says urban local body are constituted for 5 years. So this is a correct statement. So then this is not the correct answer for this, because this is a correct statement. Okay. Coming back, the second statement is about reservation for women. So see, this is the statement about reservation for seats. Here you can find the different statements, like why the reservations are made. So the reservations are made in order to provide adequate representation to the people from different communities, or from different genders in India. As we know, we face a lot of gender inequality. So for that, we have provided representations. We have provided reservation for women also, in order to ensure that even women are represented in the urban governance platform. So there are uh, two ways in which women are or seats for women are reserved in the urban local bodies. First is through the SC/ST category, or the part of SC/ST reservation is then further reserved for women. So you can see here that we have the statement that uh, the proportion of the seats to be reserved for SC/ST to the total number of seats shall be same as the proportion of population of SC/ST in municipal area. So if in a municipal area 60% of the population belongs to SC or ST category, then 60% of the seats in the urban local body, or in uh, in a ward committee, or anything, 60% of those seats will be reserved for SC/ST. So if the population percentage is of SC/STs in a particular area is only 10%, then only 10% of the seats will be reserved for SC/ST candidates. So this is how a reservation is provided for SC and ST candidates uh, in urban local bodies. Then further, in those reserved seats for SC/ST, not less than one third of the total number of seats for SC/ST shall be reserved for women belonging to SC/ST. So even in the 10%, like I said, imagine if 10% of the population is SC/ST in a particular area. So one third of that 10% will then further be reserved for women who belong to SC/ST. So, 2/3 of that 10% will be reserved for men who belong, not reserved, will be for men who belong to SC/ST, or it can be filled by anyone, men or women belonging to SC/ST. But one third of those seats are reserved only for women who belong to SC or ST category. So this is just for SC/ST. Further, this is a provision for just the SC/ST category, but then there is another provision for reservation for all women in that area. So that provision refers to the reservation in this way, that in respect of women, the seats shall be reserved to the extent of not less than one third of total number of seats. This includes the seat for women belonging to SC and ST as well. So the total reservation that the women have on the seats in the urban local body or the municipality or any urban body is that the percentage is or the share is one third. So one third of the total number of seats that are reserved, that are available, would be reserved for women. So this will include the seats for SC/ST as well for women who do not belong to SC/ST. So I hope this is clear. Now let's go back to our question. So our question says that 50% of the seats for women is uh, is for 50% reservation for women in the ULB. So this is not correct, as we just saw that the reservation is only one third. So one third is 33.33%. So it is definitely not 60%. Sorry, 50%. 50% is half of the seats. So it's only one third. So we know that this statement is incorrect. Coming to the last two statements, which is about legislature. So the first of these two statements is that ULBs have been given the power to legislate and implement scheme for economic development and social justice. So let's uh, let's go to where this is where this is referring to the powers and functions of the municipalities, and this talks about the state legislature or the legislature for the municipality. We can see here it clearly says that municipalities, in respect of preparation of plans for economic development and social justice and for implementation of schemes that as may be entrusted to them, and who will entrust them, that is the state legislature. So the state legislature may by law specify what powers and responsibilities would be given to a particular municipality in respect of preparation of plans of economic development and social justice. So let's come back. You can see there that ULPs have been given power to legislate and implement schemes for economic development and social justice. This is also correct. And then the last, that the legislature of the state can assign specific tax, duties, toll, etc. for the functioning of urban local bodies. This is also true, because even the functions or the power to legislate for any economic development or social justice scheme, it comes from the state legislature only, as we saw here in this statement, that the state legislature may be by law specify what powers and responsibilities would be given. So I hope this is clear to you. So this is the third question, and how you can go about solving a question like this, which has multiple options, and you have to choose which are the correct and incorrect. And this is a way you can find um, documents or additional reference material which either I provide or from other sources as well. You can find the legislation or other things which are mentioned in the question and solve questions using that. And so, okay, moving on to the next question. So the next question is, according to Census of India 2011, the percentage of total population of India living in urban. Oh, I think I'm muted. Okay, I unmuted myself. I hope you can hear me. So we come on to the next question, which is, according to Census of India 2011, the percentage of total population of India living in urban area is, and then you have four options: 30 to 35, 36 to 45, 46 to 50, or 51 to 60. So for this, you can either refer to the material, uh, or your course material, or the lectures which you already have, or you can refer to the census data. So again, it is very important to follow a credible source when you are looking at the census data. You do not get documents or files from any other website, as the data provided, that file may be incorrect or might have some discrepancies. It is very important that you follow a document when you're looking for census data. Follow only the data which is provided by censusofIndia.gov.in, which is the Census of India website or the government website. So this is the link of data about the rural and urban distribution of population of 2011 from the Census of India, which I have provided here. So if you just click through to this link, you will come here. So you can see here the website is called censusofindia.gov.in. This is the official website. Do not trust any source which is not this particular website. So here you can see, you can find data about rural urban distribution of population about 2011. We are going with 2011 because the question particularly asks you about 2011. So you go here. Here you can see you have two downloads, one in PDF format, one is PPT format. The download will show you rural urban distribution of population. So this is sort of the key details about the population distribution. So this is a PPT or PDF for that. So either you can go to this link, and this link will take you to the Census of India website, or I have downloaded the particular file as I showed you, and I have put it in our shared folder as well. So you can just click through to and go to the shared folder also, and this is the file which you will get from the Census of India website, and you can just click on to this file and see or access the file here as well. So this is the file which is there in our shared folder. So you can see in here this has been prepared by the Registrar General and Census Commissioner of India, and it provides details about the rural-urban population distribution in India. So it is key facts. It doesn't have. It's not an Excel sheet with rural-urban population for each and every village or state or district. It's not a district-wise or city-wise or state-wise data, which you can also find from the census website. But this is more of a uh, general points about the population distribution, which you can also find if you want quick details about the population distribution. So first thing you can see here that the rural urban distribution, which we are talking about in the question, is 68% and 31.2% in India. So I think it is very clear. So rural and urban. So this is rural and this is urban. So the population distribution according to census 2011 in India was that rural population was 68.8% and the urban population was 31.2%. So this is the percentage of whole population. So the total population of India. So 68.8% of the total population of India resides in rural area, whereas 31.2% of all the population which resides in India resides in urban areas. So this is what uh, the rural and urban distribution is. So coming back to our question. So our question is asking, according to Census of India 2011, the percentage of total population of India living in urban area is, you have four options. So it is not the correct or the absolute percentage, but it gives you sort of uh, a range. So range is from, first range is from 30 to 35, then 36 to 45, 46 to 50, or 51 to 60. So our percentage, as we saw, so the percentage of urban population is 31.2%. So coming back to our question, the question is asking about urban areas, and as we saw, it was 31.2%. So 31.2% lies between 30 to 35. So I think it is very clear which is the correct answer for this question, or how you can select the different ranges. Also, I hope it is clear that which kind of documents you can go and find when you are looking for. So, for example, when you are talking about rural urban distribution, don't go to the census website and look for whole Excel sheets about each and every urban and rural population in each and every district or each and every state. You do not have to do that. There are snippets of information like the PPT I showed you, which are provided by the Census of India for quick access or quick knowledge about how the population is distributed, what is the economic activity in India, uh, what is the number of cities, number of statutory towns, and such things. So here, like in this question, you wanted to know about the number of statutory towns. So I hope there are some documents in the census website as well, which provide you information about the number of census towns, number of statutory towns, and things like that. So in your free time, you can go and access the website and find the number of towns or statutory towns as well. So, but for this example, we needed just quick information about rural urban distribution. So we accessed a document which provides quick snippets about the rural and urban distribution, and we refer to that document. If you want to do detailed studies or detailed analysis about a particular state or about a particular district, if you are urban manager in a particular area or a particular city, if you want to get details about your particular city or about your particular district, you can get the data from Census of India website as well, and then you can get the data in Excel sheets, and then you can even do mathematical calculations or further analysis using that data. But for this kind of question, you do not need that data. You just need snippets of information. So you can access such files, or you can even access the file which is in our shared folder and find out what information you need and how I showed you how to use that information to solve the question. So I hope question 4 is clear. We move on to the next question. So the next question is asking you for a full form of a term which is UNDP. So the term UNDP stands for what? You are given 4 options. So United Nations Development Project, United Nations Development Program, Union Nations Development Project, or United Nations Development. So does anyone know the answer to this? This is not a question which actually has a technique of how to solve it or something like that. So can anyone tell me?
Yeah,
I'll give you.
UNDP one.
Yes,
I think it's United Nations Development Program.
yes, you're very correct, Anita. It is United Nations Development. Can anyone tell me one of the key things UNDP has done or is doing or is in charge of doing? One very key thing. It is related to sustainability. Can anyone tell?
The UNDP Sustainable Goals, is that what you're talking about?
Yes, yes, Anita.
2031 Sustainable Goals, yeah. I think it's
Yes,
that, yeah.
yes. So that is very a keystone project or a keystone uh, thing which UNDP does. Which even if you do not know UNDP, you probably know about the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals or SDGs, which we refer to. So this is what we are talking about. So UNDP is a United Nations organization or development program. So it is called United Nations Development Program, and it is tasked with developing, assessing, keeping account of, and conducting further development activities by either uh, collaboration or liaison with uh, governments of different countries, even state governments and local governments in different countries, and helping them fulfill the different sustainability goals or different sustainable development objectives in the particular country or the particular city or particular state, like that. So that is what UNDP is and what we are talking about. So UNDP came into existence by merging of two different bodies which existed before the UNDP. So UNDP is uh, uh, agency associated to the United Nations. So it came into existence when the United Nations Expanded Program of Technical Assistance and the United Nations Special Fund were merged together. So the United Nations Expanded Program for Technical Assistance came into being in 1949 post World War II, and later United Nations Special Fund came to existence in 1958. So these both, as you can see from their names, technical assistance and special fund, were supposed to help the governments and countries and different uh, government or central or national or subnational governments cope with the after effects of the World War and countries which were struggling with the after effects of colonialism and after their independence. So the United Nations uh, developed these two assistance programs or organizations to assist the different national and subnational governments in their development activities in their own countries or states or cities. So, in 1966, both these were merged together to form what we today call UN. So, it is a agency led by the United Nations, and it works in 170 countries and territories, and it focuses on different sustainable development goals like eradicating poverty and reduction of inequality and such things. And it helps countries and the country's leaders to develop policies, leadership skills. It provides partnering abilities, so partnering not only with themselves but even among the different nations of the world. And it helps them build their institutional capabilities so that they can themselves become better leaders and can take on the development programs in their own territories in a better way. It also focuses now in building resilience uh, to different disturbances like climate change or, uh, for example, the pandemic or economic insecurities and such things. And all these are divided into different goals. So all these are different types of activities, and these activities and tasks, they are clubbed into different goals, which we commonly know as the Sustainable Development Goals. So this is UNDP's work, and it is concentrated on three focus areas: the sustainable development, the democratic governance and peace building, and climate and disaster resilience. So our focus area mostly is the democratic governance in this area, as we are talking largely about uh, governance in uh, governance in our course. However, even sustainable development and climate and disaster resilience are part and parcel of the urban development process and cannot function without a proper governance system. They are still allied with urban governance. So UNDP is a key organization which you should know about, or you should at least know about the sustainable development goals and functions that it performs in order to better understand the course material or the functions and responsibilities of urban local governments. So I've also provided the link to UNDP's website. So you can just click on through here and go to the UNDP's website. And if you want, you can read about UNDP, who they are, how they work, who their partners are, how they're funded, all those things, uh, about what they do, about the impact they create, and things like that. You can even find the Sustainable Development Goals or things related to that on the website. So this is, as you can see, this is Destination 2030. So this is the acceleration progress on SDGs. So in 2030 is a year for accounting or audit of all the sustainable development or what progress is made so far. So this refers to that. So you can see the 17 goals and tells you about the 2023 Sustainable Development Goal Summit. So a summit happens every year, so you can even find information about the summits. So this is about the summit of 2024 and things like that. So you can find a lot of detail about sustainable development goals and other things related to urban governance and how the UNDP supports it on their website. And that you can access from this link which I have provided, or otherwise you can just Google UNDP and visit the UNDP's website. I hope this is clear. The question I think is very clear. The question is asking for the full form, which we just discussed what the full form is. Still have the doubts? Go to UNDP's website and check out what the full form is. Moving on to the next question. So our next question for today is, urban areas in India are classified into statutory towns and census towns, and this is a true or false question. So you have to tell if this statement is true or false. So we already discussed this in quite detail, what statutory towns are, uh, what census towns are. So I hope it is very clear to you if this statement is true or false. If you still have any doubts about statutory and census towns, please go ahead, please ask. I am not discussing the subject matter again because I think I have discussed it once and it will be too repetitive. So if anyone has any doubts, please ask. I'll tell you if there are still doubts about what statutory and census towns are. I see 10 people are still there in the meeting. No one no one has any doubts, or do you still have any doubts in statutory and census town?
No, ma'am, no doubt on that.
Okay.
It's clear.
Okay. So we'll move ahead to the seventh question. So the seventh question is that identify the norm which is not a part of principles of good urban governance proposed by the UN Habitat. So this is a you are given multiple options and you have to select which are not a part of the principle. So you are given sustainability, subsidiarity, equity, efficiency, transportability, transparency and accountability, civic engagement and citizenship, and security. So these are all the options which you have been given, and you have to select which one of this is not a part of the principles. So what this is talking about is the principle of good urban governance. So this actually comes from the global campaign of urban governance, which is taken by Habitat, and they have developed a working paper on this global campaign for urban governance. In that working paper, they have discussed several principles of good urban governance, and this is talking about those particular seven principles. So here is the link which I have shared with you, which will take you to the UN Habitat's website, and it will show you uh, the particular working paper which I am talking about. So you just click on through here, and you see this is the globe. You can see here, always check first the website. So you can see here it is the unhabitat.org. So it is the correct website. So this is the global campaign for urban governance. It is a concept paper and it was published in March 2002. This is what tells you about the principles of good governance. So it tells you the UN Habitat's agenda, then the international policy about poverty and urban governance. Then uh, what is the campaign about? So it tells you what good urban governance is. Uh, then it tells you what is governance versus government. If you are confused about the concept, you can refer to this. Then it tells you what good urban governance is. So it uh, tells you about good urban governance and inclusive city. And then further, when it discusses specifics of good urban governance, it gives you detailed principles to follow, which can be followed by any organization, so urban local body or even subnational governments. It can be followed by either those organizations or at the individual level itself. So can be followed by the urban uh, managers or local managers in the local government, or people who are related to the urban local bodies. So these are the principles which it shows you. Another thing which you can refer to if you are unable to go to that website for some reason is the shared folder. I have downloaded that particular PDF and again shared it on our shared folder. So this is the PDF, the UN Habitat uh, Global Campaign on Urban Governance, and I have again marked the particular points which you need to focus or which you need to look to. So these are section 2.4 is where you see the principles of good governance. So let's go to section 2.4. Here we come to section 2.4. Here you can see from the outset, the campaign must aim to develop universal norms that can be operationalized. These should be based on lessons of experience and reflect regional conditions. Their implementation must be grounded in reality of urban planning and management. So they tried to evolve universal norms. So universal doesn't mean for the universe, it means something which is applicable everywhere. So for this, they can't restrict to one particular country or one particular governance context. They evolved principles which can be applied to any context, for any country, for any state, for any urban local area, uh, rural area even. So it is general principles of good urban governance. So for this reason, the campaign proposed that good governance is characterized by the principles of sustainability, subsidiarity, equity, efficiency, transparency and accountability, civic engagement and citizenship, and security. So these are the principles which it proposed. Further, you can see this is very well and good. If you want to read in detail, you can read about the principles in detail. Like for sustainability, they mean sustainability in all dimensions of urban development. So sustainability, as you might know or you might have seen, sustainability is not composed of just one thing but three different things. So it is not just about the environment also, it is the social, economic and environmental, all three needs of the present as well as the future generations. So it can't just focus on the environment. So many a times people think that sustainability just means the environment, but that also is not possible, because if we stop using all environmental resources and just sit and not do anything at all, our economies will suffer. We won't have any resources to rely upon. So that also is not a good way to go, and we can't sustain our human population by not having any economic activity. So focusing on the word sustainability is a balance of social, economic and environmental needs. So we have to take care of environment as well as our economic needs, and then again focusing on social as well, so that economic activity or the environmental benefits or the economic resources should be accessible for different parts of the society, different communities, different people belonging to the society. They, they be from different genders, from different economic backgrounds. Some might be poor, some might be from more affluent communities. So even the social has to be balanced. So sustainability means all the three: social, economic and environmental. So practical meaning also for this, you'll find here in the description of uh, each of the principle. So for example, if you see sustainability, you can undertake consultation with stakeholders within communities to agree on a broad-based mission statement and long-term strategic vision for the city using tools such as city development strategies. So this is telling you that in order to maintain sustainability in your city or in urban local area, you can undertake a consultation with stakeholders to make a plan so that you stick to the plan in order to achieve sustainability. Again, it is focusing that you have to have consultation with stakeholders within communities. So again, focusing on the social aspect as well, that you have to involve different members of the communities or different people representative of their own communities in order to agree on a broad based mission statement. So it should be broad based, it should uh, pay attention to the needs of different communities, different people, to different aspects, so economic aspects, aspects of social justice, and even environmental aspects. So broad-based and focusing on different communities. So you understand what sustainability can mean in practical terms when performing the particular activity in an urban area. So I hope this is clear. Similarly, a lot of different practical meanings or practical activities for each of the principles is mentioned in this document, which you can refer to. I have shared the document in our folder, so you can just refer to that folder, or you can refer to the link which I have shared in the PPT. So go to either of those places. In the folder I have even marked where you have to look, so you can just see the different principles, and then based on that principles, what practical measures can one person who is either present or future urban manager can take for their particular city or their particular urban area in order to ensure good governance in their particular city. Another good tool which they have provided is this table. So this table provides in very uh, at glance the particular principle and then the associated objective. So in one principle, what objective you have to meet. So for sustainability, you have to balance social, economic and environmental priority, and then you have to ensure stakeholder involvement. And then based on each objective, you see what practical measures you can take in your city. So like promoting transfer of appropriate technologies in your urban area, like these days we are hearing a lot about smart city and smart urban governance, things like that. So that comes from this aspect, that you should promote the transfer of appropriate technologies in your urban area in order to increase the efficiency or increase the use of more sustainable technologies in your urban area. So similarly, it provides a list of practical measures that one can look to or refer to for good urban governance. I'm sorry. So you can see it shows you all the principles, their related objectives, and the practical measures. Okay, I hope this is clear. Now let's come back to our question. So the question was, which of these is not a part of principle of urban governance? So let's check sustainability. We just saw sustainability was a part of it. Subsidiarity, subsidiarity is another part. Next is equity. Equity is another one. Then efficiency. Efficiency is also a principle. Next we have transparency and accountability. So transparency and accountability is also there. We have transportability. So transportability is not one of the principles, as you can see. So after transparency and accountability, we have civic engagement and citizenship. We have security, but transportability is not one of the principles. So I think it is very clear now that which one of these options is not a part of the principles of good urban governance. So in a similar way, you can either refer to the course material which is shared with you, or you can even further uh, refer to this additional reference material which I have provided to check if the statement is correct or not, or check about other similar problems. We move on to the last question for today, which is as per census 2011, which of these urban area categories had highest growth percentage in their total numbers? So we have statutory towns, census towns, urban agglomeration, and metro city. So first of all, urban agglomeration we can just overlook, because it specially refers to as urban area category. So calls talking about urban units. Urban agglomeration is not just an urban unit. Agglomerations usually take into account adjacent towns and sometimes even rural areas. So urban agglomeration we can just exclude. Metro cities we can also exclude from our focus because there are very few metro cities in India. The most population growth which has happened so far is in the statutory towns or in census towns. So we need to focus on statutory or census towns and check which one of these has had the highest growth percentage in the total numbers. So uh, we'll uh, we'll go back to our document which I shared with you earlier with this document which is rural urban distribution of population. Here only you can find the population growth as this refers to urban and rural. So census towns and statutory towns both are a part of the dynamic process of rural to urban. So you can find the data in this only. Here I have marked also. So you can see a growth in numbers of the number of urban units in India. So it shows you the total growth of total number of towns in India. So it shows you that how many towns were there in 2001. Then in the 2011 census, how many towns were there. And if you subtract from this, from 2011, if you subtract this number, you can find out easily the number of increase. So this is for the total number of towns. So this total number of towns includes both statutory and census towns. This is statutory towns only. So this number is for statutory towns. So you can see the number of statutory towns in 2001 census was 3,799, and in census 2011 the number of statutory towns was 4,041. So the increase in number of statutory towns is only 240. However, the number of census towns, you can see it is much more. In 2011 census, the number of census towns was only 1,362, and uh, in uh, in 2011 it increased to uh, 3,894. So you can see the increase is 2,532 towns. So if you subtract this number from this, you can find out the increase. So I have also, from here only you can clearly see that the increase in statutory towns is comparatively very less compared to increase in the census towns. So this only gives you the answer to this question, that which has had the more increase or more, as highest growth percentage in terms of their total numbers. However, I have also provided an Excel sheet in our shared folder. So this is the Excel sheet. This is the Excel sheet for problems and calculations. So in this sheet, I'll add or upload any of the problems and calculations that we do throughout our problem solving session. So for example, you can see this sheet here, week 1. So this is the calculation which we did for week 1. So in this question, this is just asking in the total number, but it is asking growth percentage. So although from the growth numbers only you can easily see that the number of census towns has grown way more compared to statutory towns, but in some cases when the growth is very comparable, it is difficult to find out which has had which uh, type of category has had more percentage growth compared to the other. So in those examples, we find out the percentages. So I hope you can see my screen here. you can see the calculations I have made. So these numbers I took from uh, this file only, uh, this file, and the numbers about the population increase. So for statutory towns, the population in 2001 and 11, similar for census town, the population in 1 and 11, I just carried over the population to here. So for census towns, for statutory towns, census town, the population in 2001 and 2011, and just for the sake of it, the total town, the number of total towns as well. So this you can see, if you add number of statutory and census town, you get the number of total towns, which is again the same as the one which is provided here. So 5161. So we know that we have copied the numbers correctly, because the 5161 is the same as which is mentioned in the PPT. So we have copied down the numbers correctly. So this is the number of census town, statutory towns in 2001 and census towns, and this is the number of statutory and census towns in 2011. So for increase, if you can see the formula here, I have just applied a formula D5, which is this cell. This is D5 cell, so you can see D5. So D5 minus C5. So you can see highlighted also, the orange one is D5 and the purple one is C5. So C5. So D5 minus C5. That is the formula for this cell. So D5 matlab census 2011, the number of statutory town in census 2011, and minus the number which were there in 2001. So if you minus this from 2011, you minus 2001, so you find out how many increase in number of the statutory towns has been there. So you find the increase that way. Similarly, for census towns also, you can see the formula is D6 minus C6. That the same thing I have done. So you subtract the census 2011 number of census towns, you subtract census 2001 number of census towns, and you get the increase. And similarly for the total number towns as well, the formula for this is D7 minus C7. I hope this is clear. So increase you know, but the question is asking percentage growth or percentage increase. So percentage growth or percentage increase, you can see from this formula. So you can see 100 into, because we are calculating the percentage, so 100 into E5. So E5 is the increase. So E5 over C5. So from the base year, we have to see how much it has grown. So we have to see the growth compared to the previous census. So how much it has grown in 2011 compared to the previous census, which is 2001. So we did 100 into E5, which is the increase, divided by the base year, which is the 2001 census number of the statutory towns. So from this formula, this is a basic percentage formula, so you get the percentage increase in the number of statutory towns. And similarly, in this, we have done 100 into E6, which is the change or increase in number of census towns, divided by the base year number, which is 1362 or C6. You get the percentage increase in census towns. So it is 185%. It's almost not twice, but almost thrice. So more than two times. That is why the percentage has come as 185%. And similarly, in the terms of total towns, the percentage increases 53.75%. So it is uh, more than 50% number has increased from census 2001 to 2000. I hope this is clear. So here you can see the formula of how the increase has been calculated, and here for how the increase has been calculated, and here you can see the formula of the percentage growth or percentage increase. So I hope this also is clear. So come back to the question. Here I think it is very clear which is the higher growth percentage, and I think using the Excel sheet and the information provided by the Census of India website, you can easily solve. Or maybe from the lecture material itself you can get the information about the increase of census towns and statutory towns and as such. So I hope this is clear to you. I have quickly provided the table from the Excel sheet here as well, so you can see the number of statutory towns, the increase, and the percentage increase based on that. If you still are confused about the calculation or how it has been calculated, just refer to the Excel sheet which I have shared. So I hope this is clear. Uh, these are all the questions which I had from the previous session. I hope these were all clear to you. If you still have any more doubts for this week's lecture, you please go ahead and ask. I'll try my best to answer. Uh, if anything still remains, I can answer them in the further sessions. But if you still have any doubts for this week, please go ahead and ask. Anita, do you have any doubts regarding this week's
No, no, no.
assignment?
Thank you. No, thanks. It's all very clear. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? I am seeing someone who has named themselves B40 Civil. Kindly put your real names in your profile from where you join so that I can address you. Otherwise, also it's okay, but that will be a good practice so that I can call you and we can interact properly. So, B40 Civil, whoever you are, please, if you have any questions, go ahead and ask. I'm seeing Mittal Vadia. I'm seeing Vijaya who is saying it is all clear. Okay, thank you Vijaya for the feedback. I'm seeing Prajwala. Do you have any questions? I'm seeing Ram Prasad. Do you have any questions? Please ask. Shraddhanjali, I'm seeing Shrestha, Sneha. I'm Sneha is saying thank you. Thank you, Sneha, for attending. If you have any questions, please ask. I'm seeing Gigi Bhaskaran. Do you have any question? Gigi Bhaskaran also has no doubts. Okay, thank you for attending. Shrestha also has no doubts. Okay, I'll wait for a few minutes. So if anyone has any doubts, they can either unmute themselves and ask, or maybe they can type in the chat box. So I'll wait for 5-10 minutes more so that you can type your question in the chat box. If even if do not worry at all, even if you have any questions about this session only in later weeks, we can address your questions there also. You can also go to the forum, the discussion forum which is there, and you can ask your question there as well. Is everyone clear about how to access the forum and how to ask your questions there? Thank you to you also for attending. If anyone has any doubts about accessing the forum, I can show you again how to access the forum. So if anyone has any doubts, you can just drop a quick message or raise your hand. I'll show again.
So the PPT and the files are not yet shared, right?
No, no, it is. I don't think it is not yet shared. But you might have seen Okay, so to access the PPT only, you need to have the shared folder. Okay, I can quickly show you. I'm sorry, I was disconnected. Again, I'll quickly show you the folder. Uh, okay, Hima. Okay, thank you. I'll quickly show you the folder which you'll see in some time uh, and which you can access. Okay, so this is the folder, or this is the Excel sheet which will be shared with you shortly. I think it has not been shared so far because till now no live sessions has been done yet, so that is why I think it has not been shared so far. But this is the kind of Excel sheet which will be shared with you. Here you will find the YouTube link of that video. So as I discussed earlier, video will be of this live session only, like we are having today. All of these sessions are recorded, and this recorded video will be then shared to the YouTube link from where you can access it later also, or even if you miss the session, or in any case you can access this YouTube. Then this is a folder link which is there. So this is the shared folder which I showed you now. This you can go to this link, and here you will find all the PPTs which I talk here, which I talk or present in the class, and all the extra materials which I show in the class. All the extra reference material which I show or want to give to you, I'll put everything in this folder, and this using this link you can share the you can access the folder itself. Here I'll write my name. I am Nikita. I don't know if I introduced myself. I am Nikita Ranjan. I am a research scholar in IIT Roorkee, and I am currently assigned as a teaching assistant for this NPTEL course. So this is my name, and here we'll record the attendance for every meeting which happens every week. So you might know that we will meet every week Tuesday 6 to 8 using the same Google Meets link which is shared with you. So we will meet every week. I'll upload YouTube link to these live sessions every week and the presentation folder. So I'll after every session I'll upload the shared PPT, shared reference material, and the YouTube video. So you can access all of this in your free time as well. So this is the sheet which will be shared with you shortly, I hope. If you want to know where it will be shared, that also I can show you. So this is your Swayam portal, which most of you might access. Here is the announcement section, which is currently open. So announcement section, you get regular announcements. Like here you can see week 1 feedback form. It is for week 1 feedback form. This is you have gotten an announcement for the problem solving session where you've gotten the link to join the meeting. Similarly, you will get an announcement about the shared folder, and in that only you will get a link to the shared folder or to the recorded videos which you can access. So I hope this is clear. I'll quickly tell you about where to ask questions in the discussion forum as well. So here you see this tab which says ask a question. So if you click here, you'll go to the discussion forum. You can see here different people have asked questions. So you can even go to their questions and you can see the response which has been given by either the common admin or the course instructor also. So like this is a question which has someone has asked about referring to the YouTube video. Like they have referred to the YouTube video. You get lectures also as YouTube videos, so you can even refer the YouTube video itself, mention the point where you are confused and ask questions. So this is the discussion forum, which again you can access here from this tab, which is ask a question. So I hope this is all clear. It is not yet shared, the shared folders and the PPTs. The link to that is not yet shared, but I think it will be shared in a very short time with you. If it is not shared by the next time we meet, I'll write to the NPTEL coordinators and I'll make sure that it is shared with you. Do not have to worry about that. I hope that is okay with you. If anyone else has any questions. You're welcome, Vijaya. Thank you all for attending. I'm very happy to see so many learners who have joined, and you're very welcome to share your comments and feedback also if you want to change anything about the session or something. We will try to do as much as possible within our purview. So if you have any feedback also, you're very welcome to share your feedback. If you have any doubts, you're very welcome to ask your doubts as well. And if you don't have any doubts right now, you can jot them down for next week sessions. So next week again on Tuesday we'll meet 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. It is for every Tuesday, and if not this week, you can jot down your doubts and ask in the next week as well. It is mostly, I understand, it is mostly a theoretical subject. There is not a lot of problem solving, but there still might be some areas where you might be confused, like we had the problem of calculating percentage growth of towns and such things. Apart from that, it's mostly theoretical, but there can be doubts even in the theory or the concept, or about different reference materials, which ones to access, which websites are credible websites, where you can get a particular legislation which you want for reference and things like that. So that also you can ask. I can't tell you the answers to the assignment which is assigned in the current week, because that if you will be graded on that. But if you need some help regarding the reference material or the background literature that you need to solve a particular question, you can ask about that. I can point you in the right direction of where to find the particular material, in which lectures it has been discussed, or things like that. If you want, you can ask those questions also. Only thing is that I cannot tell you the answers of the current assignments, because you will be graded on those assignments. So it is expected of you that you do those questions on your own. So I hope this is clear. I'm waiting for any last remarks or any last doubts, as our session is still 8. So if there are any doubts, please go ahead. Are any of you also candidates who are maybe preparing for GATE, and they are taking this course as a preparatory study material or preparatory course for GATE? Are any of you appearing for GATE exams or any other similar exams? So I think no one in the audience today is doing that, but just to put it out there, if you are attending this course as a prep to some of similar exams and some of the course material from our course is relevant to your exam questions and you have doubt in that, you can even ask those questions here. It is very welcome. I'll try my best to solve your doubt based on the study material which we are teaching here, or maybe a little extra also if it is under my purview. If I have the knowledge or expertise of that area, I'll definitely try to help you out with that. So if you have such problems, or you know other learners, or anyone else who is also attending this course and they have such problems or questions, they are very welcome to this problem solving session, and they are very welcome to get those questions answered as well. Okay, I think there are no more doubts for today, as I'm not seeing anyone raise a hand or share any uh, in call messages. So I think we can close the session for today. Uh, should I close the session for today? Okay, I'll take it as affirmative. Thank you all for coming to today's session, and I hope that if you have any doubts of, or if you know any learners who are facing any difficulties in solving these problems, please make them aware of this live problem solving session and ask them to join so that they can get their doubts cleared. Thank you all for joining. I'll see you in next session next week Tuesday, same time, 6 p.m. to 8. Thank you very much.